Hey, y'all boys, what's good? It's your boy Mar back in the video, and y'all boys today. I know you see a title, man. Today we're reviewing Thor: The Dark World. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, so I actually expected way worse, but it actually ended up being not that bad. I do think it is definitely still the worst Thor movie. Like, this has the most forgettable villain of all time, and like honestly nothing really like happens in this movie. But before we get into actually talking about this movie, y'all make sure to go watch all the other Marvel videos. I did all of phase 1 already, and I already did Iron Man 3, so y'all make sure to go watch that. And let's go ahead and get to things that's actually in this movie. For some reason, Thor movies just love doing expositions in the beginning of them. A thing I really do like about this movie is that we're seeing the aftermath of the Battle of New York, because we just had Iron Man 3 dealing with everything that Tony had going on when it comes to like his PTSD of everything that happened and stuff like that. But now we have Loki getting locked up and Thor trying to undo everything that Loki did. And also, Odin loves yelling at Loki.
It is my birthright. Your birthright was today.
I'm not gonna lie, this scene is actually really cool. Asgard still looks really good, man. Like, that's the one thing Thor movies know how to do, is keep Asgard looking great. I really wish they expanded on this little love triangle they tried to build with the Sif, Thor, and Jane, but I do understand narratively why they didn't do it. Why would you throw your car keys somewhere not knowing if it's gonna come back or not? I really don't like how irrational Odin was acting about Jane until it was known that the ether was inside of her. Like, he was honestly just acting pretty weird about that whole situation. Like I said earlier, Malekith has to be the most forgettable MCU villain. Like, he honestly doesn't do anything. He barely even talks in the movie, and he's really just a bad villain. I think this is the first and only time we see Frigga actually fight, and of course it comes at the expense of her dying, sadly. The score during the scene of Frigga's passing was actually really good, and I like how we know what's being said during these scenes, but it's told with imagery instead of dialogue. Stan Lee!
Yeah, can I have my shoe back?
Yeah, Selvig, give Stanley his shoe back, man. The whole subplot of Darcy and the intern was so unnecessary up until we get Eric, because for some reason in the Thor movies they made her pretty annoying, which is weird because she actually isn't like this in WandaVision. Like, I actually like her in WandaVision. Aside from Thor, Loki's literally the only other thing in this movie that I actually like or care about, because literally look at what they have Loki doing compared to everyone else.
Hey, want to have a rousing discussion about truth, honor, patriotism? God bless them.
Shout out to Chris Evans for actually acting like Loki would. Thor and Loki are actually carrying this movie insanely. Like, I actually love this conversation that they're having, because it's so much they both had to talk about. Their mom just died. Thor still doesn't trust him. The Battle of New York just happened, like probably at most a couple of weeks ago. So there was a lot that they had to talk about. It's crazy how much they did with Loki in this movie, and he's not even in there this long. Like, he was really gonna sacrifice himself twice. It's actually cool to see all the things they threw earlier that got lost up here now because of the convergence. It's actually pretty cool.
Loki is dead.
Oh, thank God. I'm so sorry.
I can't blame Silver for saying this, because if I was him, I'd say the same thing. Loki did way too much to this man. He literally had control of his mind. I don't know whose idea was her final battle, but I actually like it a lot. Like, they're literally randomly just going through the 9 realms. Like, they're basically just having a portal fight, and I think it's well done. Another crazy thing is that Loki literally dies in the first movie and comes back at the end of it, and he does the same exact thing in this movie too. They end off Loki's like little arc in both these movies the exact same way. I understand the reasoning for wanting to get the ether outside of Asgard, but I don't know if the best decision was to give it to the Collector. I'm glad Thor went back for Jane in the second post-credit scene, because she was going to be depressed waiting for him all over again. I'm gonna give Thor: The Dark World a surprising 6 out of 10. I remember this movie being way worse. Obviously, there's still a lot of problems in this movie, but I actually liked it more than I expected. For me personally, they actually do a lot when it comes to Thor and Loki's character. I really feel like they really do expand on like how Thor has been maturing and everything with all the events that have been going on as we've seen, which goes back to his arc being so good in the first movie. They do a lot with his character then, and I feel like they do a good amount in this movie. Loki's like the only other good thing in the movie. I even like the relationship building that the movie did for Thor and Loki. Like I said earlier, the conversation that they have is just really good. Sadly, that's blinded by a very terrible villain that doesn't really do anything. Aside from Thor and Loki, there's not really great acting in this movie. Like, no one really does anything. Jane's just standing the whole movie and complaining about everything. Selvig literally lost his mind, so he's not doing anything. They just have Darcy being annoying. The intern is just here. Another thing about this movie that kind of annoys me is that we don't actually see Thor grieve. Like, he literally lost his mom and his brother in the same movie, and he's like completely fine just because he has Jane again, which is kind of weird. But honestly, there's not a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie because nothing really happens. We have this forgettable villain that doesn't really do anything except for gain some power randomly in the movie. But like I said before, I expected a way worse movie, so I'm actually not mad at it at all. But if y'all like this video, make sure to share it to your friends, share it to your family. Let me know what y'all thought of Thor in the Dark World, because some people actually don't hate this movie as much as like others. So I'm actually very interested to see what y'all opinions are about this movie. If y'all are interested to see me and some of my friends sometimes react to shows like Loki or Invincible, they're on their reaction channel, so I'm sure to click the link in the description down below to go watch them. I also just started posting reactions to The Last of Us, so if y'all are interested in something like that, also make sure to click the link in the description down below. Go watch all the other reviews. Like I said before, I did all of phase 1, so y'all make sure to go watch those. And the next movie we have, which is a lot of y'all favorites Marvel movie, Captain America the Winter Soldier, we will be doing next. So y'all boys, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure to always trust the process.
Hey, want to have a rousing discussion about truth, honor, patriotism? God bless them.